Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite strategies for helping ELLs, and that one is the Think, Pair, Share. The Think, Pair, Share is a strategy that you can use with every student, not just English language learners, to help them get their ideas across, to collaborate with other students, and it helps give them a better understanding of the material that they're learning without them being in such an intimidating environment, because we all know the classroom as a whole can sometimes be a scary place in front of all of our peers. Now, the Think, Pair, Share is a strategy that I would use with every single grade level. It doesn't really matter if it's kindergarten, fifth grade, middle school, high school. Any grade level can use a Think, Pair, Share. Just depending on the grade level, it determines, the depth of the thinking that the students would use. Now, the Think, Pair, Share strategy, it can be used for any subject. Specifically with this topic, we're talking about with reading, but this strategy can be used for science, for math, any subject. So, what the Think, Pair, Share is, the Think, Pair, Share gives students time to reflect on the question that's asked. Then they pair with a partner or a couple partners to talk about their ideas, and then the groups will share it to the whole class. Now, what I like about this strategy is that rather than the teacher just asking questions right off the bat and expecting an answer right away, the Think, Pair, Share gives them time to actually sit there and think about the question that's being asked before they actually have to give a response. With English language learners, usually what happens is the teacher will ask the question and then immediately call on a student for a response. Now, during this time, the ELL is still trying to decipher the question. So they're picking out the words, trying to think of the definitions of the words. Before they can even think about what the answer to the question is, they have to figure out what the question is asking. But during this time, the teacher's already called on another student to answer the question, and then finally the ELL has their answer, but the teacher's moved on to another question. So the Think, Pair, Share gives the student time to think about the question, and they can formulate their answer. Then what they do is they'll pair with a partner or two and talk about the question. This allows the ELL to make sure that they're on the right track with their thinking, gives them ideas from other students, and it just allows them to collaborate and share their own responses in a less intimidating environment. Because I know if I'm not sure if I understand something, I don't want to blurt it out in front of the whole class, because that could be embarrassing for me if I don't understand it. So then they would, share it with their small group. They'd be able to feed off of the other students, get their ideas, and then the teacher would call the class back together and then give them time to share it to the whole class. This would help them be able to contribute it to class discussions without them having to be intimidated and not sure of their answer and just share it right in front of the class. This makes them feel more comfortable. It gives them more understanding, because they're not only are they repeating, they're thinking and repeating about it once, they're repeating it twice because they're doing it in a small group and then across the whole group, and they get ideas from every single group, not just one or two students. This is such an easy strategy to implement in your classroom. You don't have to have hardly any materials. The only material that I would suggest using is a stopwatch. And this is only because you would say, you would pose the question, give them a minute to think about the question, give them 2 minutes to share or to pair, with their group and share it amongst the group, and then you would come together and share it as a whole class. But that would be the only material that I think this strategy would need, is a stopwatch, or you can just do it off your clock in the classroom, or just, once you think you've done enough time. I like the stopwatch or a timer idea, because then the students know how much time they have. But I love this strategy because it's perfect for every single student, allows them all to be inclusive, because not only ELLs aren't the only students that don't want to share in front of the class. So this makes it all more comfortable, and it just definitely helps everybody get a better understanding of the topics without being super intimidated about anything.